Alrighty.
Good morning, everyone. Today is February 5th of 2024. This is a MicroProfile marketing call. The calls now, once again, get updated or uploaded into the YouTube playlist under marketing. You can watch them there should you miss or should you want to see what's the history on 2024 from the calls. Okay, so let's go to the agenda. Ryan, can you show us a ticket A66 with swag? Please.
866.
No, it's the first one, event marketing.
Yeah. Quick question on this one. Did any of the logos change from last year?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, it's all done. I did the hoodies also.
Just because.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
AI files, mock-ups.
Can you enlarge it?
Like that.
We should have 12 members, and we have 12 members.
Yeah.
How does it look, everyone?
Good. All right.
So, Ryan, is it possible? Please post the design, the images, front and back, and the tickets, because the ticket is what we're going to use in addition to the link for the vote.
Oh, what are they voting on for the shirt?
We will vote on approving the t-shirt because it needs to be print. Needs to go to print this month and vote.
Okay, yeah, I'll just drag the pictures in there.
Yeah, just drop the pictures like you usually do. And what we're going to do is let's give 24 hours to review. If microprofilers in this call can go in there and say it looks good, then I say tomorrow we present it in the community call, and we say that the vote, we will push for the vote so that not only members but also the Eclipse Foundation can help us print for DevNexus. Thus far, I believe that Emerson needs to do the quotation, and the quotation can only happen when we have the design.
There you go.
Excellent. Does that sound feasible?
Yep.
Emily, Reza?
Yeah, good with it. This is the t-shirt stuff. I've been keeping an eye on the issue. That's fine.
Okay. Emily, anything to add? Because this is so important. We have no time. Okay, I think we lost Emily. Ryan, thank you so much for that design.
Sorry, I was on mute. I briefly left my desktop. What's your question?
Oh, the question was, did you see the design for the update for 2024 t-shirt? If there are any feedback, please add it to the tickets, because tomorrow we will show it in the community call, and then we will start the vote tomorrow.
Okay, I will take a look. Thank you.
Excellent. John.
Hey, Ryan, I actually have a quick question. The background color on the front and the back, those are the same color?
Of what?
Of the t-shirt?
Honestly, it might be off a little bit because I had to kind of rig up the other shirt, but yeah, they will be the same colors.
Well, yeah, the only reason I ask is because I just remember the old MicroProfile shirts that had a brighter blue background instead of the darker blue, and those lighter blues looked bad.
I haven't seen them, actually. I haven't seen the design yet, so I am going to look at it.
Well, the design, you shouldn't go off the color of the shirt. You should, if you're going to do that, you need to find the shirt that the provider has and put a picture of that shirt next to it.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is just me using blue, like
Gotcha.
years before and stuff. Yeah.
So for you, it's just the design. It's not necessarily the
content,
the colors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah. The problem with this t-shirts is that we are no longer able to use Next Level in the blue, the color that we used for the t-shirts. So we have no idea what the Eclipse Foundation with the vendor will do for this print. Emerson will tackle that. Okay, so we go, Emerson. Hey, Emerson, you're here. Do you have any updates for us on DevNexus?
Okay,
I'm trying to
hold on, just 1 second, please, because this might be important. So one thing that I don't think the Eclipse Foundation will print any our logos. We can double check this with the EF, but that goes against their best practices. I mean, I thought we were printing these t-shirts. They're not gonna print t-shirts that has corporate logos in it, just so you know.
Yeah, none of them have logos.
I don't think
in
it
the
has
PDF.
logos.
They don't have logos. We fixed it with their help last year.
Yeah.
And
There's
these
a-
ones
look
are
on
no
the screen.
logos. These ones
You,
are,
you can check. I don't think they're even gonna print t-shirts with member names on them. I
Mhm.
think this is just this whole
the,
this entire line of thinking may not be okay. I don't think is okay with them. They're okay with us printing stuff, but I think
Mhm.
this is worth double checking.
I don't
So-
think they want us printing stuff. We've had that discussion too.
yeah,
where
so
we have
the-
to go through their vendors.
correct. So Emerson is going to chat now that we have the design, even though it's not approved yet. Emerson can take it to the Eclipse Foundation in whichever medium he finds suitable, because there is a ticket, right? And he can say, these are no logos, just like last year. We want to know how much is the budget for 200 t-shirts, and these are the sizes, right? And then he will bring back the budget. If the Eclipse Foundation brings issues with what we have done in the past that has worked, we will learn via Emerson. Reza, I get your point. Let us figure out what Emerson finds without bringing that topic, without us bringing that topic. We tackled the t-shirt last year. We make major changes to it just so that we can use the budget to print. It will be disappointing if not even what currently is can be printed, right? The restrictions continue to increase, so much so that the limitations really hinder the project itself and all the activities we want to do. We need to be watchful on what is tolerable or not, and why is it that what we want to do is always seen or might be seen as outside the norm of what other groups do at the foundation. So Emerson, now that you have the tickets, this is one part of the DevNexus anyway. Are you comfortable to do this? You have done it before, like for 2 years now.
Yeah, I would take care of that and see what are the old process still in place and what we have to do this year.
Yeah. Okay. You're so nice navigating this. Thank you so much. Now, let us go to the Nexus. What's going on?
Okay, I'm working myself in the demo, just preparing the demo so I can share with everybody and review and do any improvements on it. I didn't have too much time this week. I was traveling this weekend and the last week, so the other thing I have in place right now is working on the contact each one of the members of the group to figure out who's going to be there and setting the schedule or being on the table. So I'm just design a draft and touch base with each one of the organizations, but I'm not sure which be the best person of each one to touch base, or I should do an open survey to figure out who's going to be there, maybe with a tweet or just write into the working group.
So Emerson, I can send you we have the stewards' emails because they are members of the working group, and you are the new committer, so you should have that information. So what you can do is contact Paul from the Eclipse Foundation and say, as a chosen member of the MicroProfile working group, I need the steering committee emails. And they will provide you with emails, and you can contact them like we have previously talked via private message and say, hey, will you attend DevNexus? Because we have accepted, you do your thing and then move on. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because we try to, if there is privacy, though many of us here have their emails, the Eclipse Foundation is the only one authorized to give you that information for you to contact them. And there is nothing blocking you. So do that. And do you have anything to show on the booth demo? Or do you want to wait until you get something more sure?
Yeah, I would share as soon as I get something more consistent regarding to our conversation like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I working in the 7 filers and all those things, just putting a nice design. Maybe I will ask for help, but by the end of this week, something is going to be for you to review.
For this group. That
That's
sounds
fine.
amazing. And Emerson, last time we talked about you giving yourself a deadline.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Emily.
So before we move on, because Emerson is kind of the committee rep, Emerson, your name should be added to the steering committee mailing list anyway. If it's not being done, so that's need to be done ASAP.
Correct.
Yeah, so Emerson, do not hesitate to basically just ask your email to be added to the group. I'm surprised your name was not added to that group.
Emerson, have you seen the steering committee mailing list?
No, that I remember. I have been in the committee, but not the mailing list.
Oh, shoot. It's maybe because none of us use that. Okay, so not only do you need to contact Paul but Emily, you just catched something here. Make sure that you have been added not only to the mailing list for the steering committee, but also to the MicroProfile working group, Google Drive, external. You need edit access to that drive as well.
Okay.
So make sure that you are onboarded as a committee member. This should have been done in October.
Yeah, it was just an oversight.
Yes. But Emerson, you have more homework now.
Yeah, sure.
Well, hopefully Paul will be on the call tomorrow.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to
Get the
wait.
light hang up.
He can contact Paul.
No, true. Just one
Yeah.
day.
We contacted today and say, hey, it came to my attention, it's Emerson. He can do his own magic to unblock himself. What I wanted to say, and Emily, you're awesome for noticing this. Emerson, we did mention also that you will think about a deadline that will make you comfortable. Yeah. Have you thought about it? DevNexus is April 9th.
Every night, right.
What is your deadline, the SAF one?
At least for the main task, it should be 2 weeks before everything should be done. I'm ready to go. And for things like the shirts and having the coverage ready and the demo, maybe 3 weeks before the date. So that gives us time to plan the trip and everything else.
2 weeks. So do you mean the 18th? The 18th is 3 weeks. The 25th, well, no. The 25th will be 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Do you mean March 18th or March 25th?
I think my March 18 would be for the things that need extra logistic, like the shirts, and the 25th for everything is related to the demo or the booth coverage, and I mean things that doesn't need extra logistic, like printing the chairs and things like that. Then it's gonna take a little longer, but just to soft due date.
Okay. What do we think? Feedback loop for Emerson's deadlines?
This gives us 6 weeks from now to get to that point.
Any feedback?
Nope.
Okay, so Emerson, write it here in the minutes and also in the ticket, and you can be specific on the 2 deadlines, and you will hold us to it because you know how it goes, right?
Right.
Okay, so please update the minutes, update the tickets, and anything else about AppNexus? Okay, Ryan, let's move to the next one. And Emerson, thanks so much for hustling on this one. It's so cool.
No, my pleasure.
Social media. So Ryan, can you open please 871?
871. I did not do the new styles. I got all the other tab things done, but for 2024, but it will be done this week.
Okay.
Which one is this?
This
Slack.
one is
I wrote
Slack.
you, Amelia. I wrote you a message in this. I am in a micro profile Slack, but I have no idea how to connect. But I'm not in the official one, I guess, because John is on a different Slack for micro profile than I am.
Wait, okay, mute's off. Okay. So you were on the old
I'm on the old one, I guess.
Java EE-WG.
Oh, hold on, let me look.
I don't see you on the actual MicroProfile, a member of the MicroProfile Slack group.
I'm at microprofile marketing.slack. That's the only thing I'm on.
Oh, you're on the marketing one. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not on the marketing one. I guess I need to fix that one. Okay.
So there
Which
was
is
one.
not really used anyways. Like it's mainly Emily and I when we need to discuss something. So
Is that just a channel underneath the existing
I have
MicroProfile
no
one?
idea. No idea.
I hope so.
It's to John, that's a kind of workspace. So same as the micro profile working group. So there's a 2
Okay.
one is the marketing one and working group one.
Okay. So there is too much communication that on the 2 channels. If Ryan, what we notice is that someone asked for that group. Someone asked me for that group. I am not a member of the MicroProfile or any working group, right? In Slack. So then I went into the website and I checked the links because it was brought to my attention that it was not working. What my recommendation is, let's depart for the marketing. I remember being a member of the marketing when Slack came to be, and then we all left and decided not to use it. Then Kevin came and he created the Slack formally for the group, where a few of you have joined. So John, is it possible for you to, because you are one of the owners, right? One of the admins. I remember that for that one, you were added as an admin. Can you give Ryan the link so that the website can be updated?
So I'm trying to remember, sorry, on Slack or in the Google group?
No, in a Slack, no Google group. We're talking about a Slack. Only
Well, the reason I ask is way back when we actually created the Google group, I think, with people that had just like the passwords or something. I haven't been there in ages, but under MicroProfile, there's a MicroProfile working group Slack channel.
That's
Right.
the link I need to connect people with.
There's a link on the chat. I just put the link in the chat.
Oh, thank you. I was actually trying to figure out how to get a link to it from the. I hate Slack's user interface.
Emerson, can you post it in the tickets, please? That is exactly what we need. We need the public.
I'm putting in the ticket now.
Yeah, put it in the tickets. Everyone understands that I believe that this kind of thing in open source is communication debt. For those of you who want to join, so be it. But it is important. If it exists, should be listed on the social media. Ryan, you have what you need? with this?
Yeah, I'll close it after I update it after the call.
All right.
Now, just keep in mind that with Slack, we are not a paying member, so we don't get to keep the history.
Mhm.
Yep. It all disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a heads up on that.
Ryan, when you update the website, can you please add a dot and say dash history, conversation history not preserved? It's not preferred. It's not, make the disclosure. All communication history is not preserved or something similar.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to A51.
I exported the PDF with the data. Now I just need to send it. That's all. I just put it here for now. You click it. Downloads. I don't want to open it. It's a PDF from Hootsuite with all the numbers. I don't know how much value the numbers actually bring, but at least there's some transparency on what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you will send, are you planning on
Yeah, I
sending?
just need to send the email. I just was doing 6 other tickets today.
Okay,
So
totally great. Tomorrow
Yeah.
is even like, if not today.
I hope
tomorrow.
to send it tonight. I hope to, if I don't fall asleep right after this call.
Yeah, it will be great to show it tomorrow in the community call as part of the marketing updates.
Oh,
Just-
definitely before that call. Yeah, you'll have it out there.
All right, this is great. We have 3 stewards for this year, and that is for social media, ticket A59. Ryan, there is a homework on the design. Can you click on ticket, please, A59?
Well, actually, before we do switch topics, in the Slack channel, I did create a MicroProfile marketing channel. We could decide if we want to use that or if we're going to use a separate chat group altogether. So it's up to us.
Do you mean, can you repeat again?
In Slack marketing, no one's using it anyway, John, so I wouldn't really stress about it.
No,
Okay.
what I was talking about is like that should be dropped. It's a communication that if there is if a channel should be just one channel and it shouldn't be marketing, it should be just inclusive to all of it.
Well, it's topical, right? So it's so under the MicroProfile link that Emerson sent out, I created a MicroProfile marketing channel.
Okay.
So
that's great. So then we have for those that wish to be there, there is a channel. And Ryan, Emily, are you okay to leave? I remember that I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I'll just hop onto the other one and just use the channel.
Yep.
Well, that's the nice thing is everybody is on one at least.
Exactly. No, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, if you want to DM people, it's good. Okay, all right. I'm
Perfect.
done. Thank
Thanks,
you.
John.
Yeah, and like you can just leave that other channel and be like, this is gone. And I remember that was back in 2000 and what is it, 17? I can't remember. It was just not a good thing. Anyway, we go with tickets A59.
Yeah. Whose is this?
So the main thing about this ticket is that we are still waiting for the designs. Maybe 2-3 drafts of designs that we will use in social media before we start scheduling the entire year via Hootsuite. And there is a ticket just for the design, right, Ryan? And the request was, do you have anything to show us on that one?
No, I told you just a little bit, a couple minutes ago that no, there's nothing to show right now.
Oh, that was early today. You were talking about that ticket?
Yeah, that I don't have the designs ready as much as I wanted to. I was caught up in all the other ones, getting everything else done.
Okay, so is
I
it
should have prioritized that one, but I did not.
Okay, so Ryan, is it possible for you to send something to the marketing using that ticket, marketing forum by Wednesday that says, these are the ideas and we will choose one and then you will hash it and then Emerson can start creating the tickets because without the design approval, we cannot,
You can create tickets without design approval.
No, no, that is fine. Emerson knows how to do it, but we're
Yeah.
still waiting for the main design, right? Because
Yeah.
some of the content will say, Ryan, add this in this section. Do you see what I mean? It's going to be one of those things that the design needs to be added so that Emerson knows what he wants, you know, if some information needs to be added in addition to the regular things. You see what I mean? It's much more interactive this year because we have Emerson and he has a new site on it.
I guess I understand. Yeah, we're doing the same structure of messaging that we've done the last like 4 years, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When Amelia is talking about this, we're gonna try to rescue some of the topics that before the last year was there and are interesting to take back and produce some context on that. So that is
Okay.
my homework. I have to decide and to see what is convenient to start thinking
Okay.
about.
Okay. Yep. I hope, yeah, by Wednesday, I hope to have a couple drafts. I'll put it in there and I'll send out an email.
Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the minutes and I see John. Do you want, I saw many tickets come in this morning. Do you want to, and now we have, we're going directly onto, we have Taran here. So Taran, I know it's super late for you. John, can you wait a little bit longer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. In fact, we should have covered him first, probably. Sorry.
Yes, Tarun, good night to
Yes.
you. Good morning. What's going
Yes.
on?
Right. So great. No, I have been working since last few weeks on the document, the tutorials, and with Emily and Reza, with the help of them, I have got connected well. I have updated the project plan, targeting completion of tutorial by end of this month at the end. And in the end, I have put the milestones and how is the plan, because earlier plan which I put in the proposal was delayed because of the holidays. Now this is the latest updated plan. I have started working on my repo with the, and I've moved all the outlines and I have started working on the chapters in my repo. But later, once the Eclipse repo is created, I'll move the content there. So with Emily, I am getting this new repo created in the Eclipse project where finally the tutorials will be hosted. But for the time being, until that is there, I will work on my repo, which is linked here in the comment last.
Tarun, Ryan, can you go a little bit up so that we can see the lines? No, there is the due dates. This just happened 37 minutes. You're amazing, Tarun. Look at you prepared. This is amazing. So the milestones are by chapter, right?
Right, multiple chapters. Yes, absolutely.
And you expect, how do you expect to, we did see something come in into the mailing list. How do you expect to get the feedback directly in the repo?
Right. So I am engaging with the Google groups, also with the various calls. I will go and for specific specifications, I'll seek feedback in the meetings, in the respective weekly calls. And then I'll update in this meeting the statuses every year in the next call and in the dev call as well.
This is wonderful. So your plan is to join every API. I call it API. It is a specification. Clearly, you can call it a specifications. That is a formal way.
Yes.
So plan to attend every call and show what you have and make that active group of committers and contributors aware of what is happening so that they can provide feedback to your writings in the repo. Is that what you mean?
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic. Feedback for Tarun on this one, on form.
Yeah, a couple of things. First, that's an awful lot. I mean, it's great if you can do it. It would be a big ask if we were to ask that of you. So, you know, I think it's great. But you could also, because I want to be sure that we also can help you manage the, the time. So one approach or an additional approach, like I'm not sure if every spec has a meeting, is to go to the Google chat group, start a thread, and during our meetings, we can point people to go to that thread in the Google group. So that's one. I had some thoughts about chapter 1, which I know I see here is due tomorrow. So that doesn't really have a group. A meeting. It's like the live hangout or market.
Yeah, it's an introduction chapter. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to Amelia's comment, should I comment on the GitHub issue directly, or or would you prefer that I do it in the chat, a Google group chat?
Okay. So you mean the Google group email threads or yeah, so I would say yeah, it would be nicer if in the issues, if you can create the
Okay.
comment, right?
I'll do it
In
that
the
way.
same repo. So then it is very easy for me to track because I will not miss it out. But yes, in Google Groups,
Okay.
I will track that as well. So yes, if you have any convenient way, then that's fine. But yes, I'm
Okay.
fine with both these ways, no issues.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do it directly on the in the repo.
Right, that sounds good because then it is easier for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I understood, Tarun. I thought you wanted all the feedback to be directly in the PR, right? Like if it's technical, especially, but you can.
Oh, I mean, in the repo, because otherwise, yes, in the repo where I'm working in the content.
Correct.
Right.
That is what I understood. My recommendation, okay, does anyone else have more feedback on how to minimize communication that for Tarun? That's our problem to solve with him.
I think it makes more sense, like read the issue on Terrain's GitHub repo for now. Because he can basically Terrain can look at the issue and then create a PR, and then so the issue originator can review it. I think it's much easier to solve that way. Otherwise, if we post on the basically email thread, Terrain has to open issue and propose a PR, and then come back to the Google group, and then yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Correct. Yeah,
becomes
becomes complicated.
So, Emily, I understand this. I understand you. However, that adds communication debt. We're saying that we shouldn't be sending the messages via, the updates should be sent through the general mailing list in the working group, correct? Because that is how we communicate. However, to provide the feedback and the content, we want everyone to use the Git, the repo, like John is going to do. Go directly to the repo and add the review. You don't have to be a committer. Anyone can provide feedback directly in the repo. I understand, and I'm huge into using issues for providing feedback, but not in this one because it's technical, right? And it's not like we're using Google Drive document like we did with Lars, right? With Lars, we did Google Documents because he didn't want to use Git. So then we used suggested edit, and everyone did suggested edit. And when there were issues like in communication or style, we use the Git issue, right? It shouldn't happen that way. But Tarun, you want it in the repo, correct? All the feedback.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So I will do +1 on that one.
Just to clarify, I think is the repo Terrain means is TTE long
Yes.
/macro tutorials. That's a repo.
John, go ahead. Your hand is up.
I just kind of want to move things along here. I think we've come to an agreement just to use a GitHub if we can, for the content itself. I just kind of there's other issues that we need to cover. I just kind of want to move things along, and then Tarun can also get back to sleep.
Yes, it's super late. Tarun, what am in agreement with you about the repo? You send the repo for feedback. And tomorrow we will push for that. Thanks so much for joining this call. You can definitely draft. Anything else that you can add? Do you wish to add to this call?
Sure. No, thanks. No, that's all for now from my side. And yes, no, looking forward for meeting you with more content in the next calls.
Sounds amazing. Have a great night.
Sure. Thank you.
John, the floor is yours. I'm leaving in 3 minutes, but you can own it. Thanks so
Well,
much, everyone.
I really just wanted to bring up the under program plan. Oops, I missed a highlight there on the G. So I started creating 2024 issues in GitHub, and I also realized we have to go back and clean up the 2022 ones. So one of our topics is basically if you want to go ahead and just click on the growing the MicroProfile brand issue. So grow awareness and adoption of the MicroProfile brand in a measurable and actionable fashion. I think, Reza, that you kind of wanted to take the lead on metrics and being able to track this stuff. Can I add you to this issue?
Yeah, sure, you can assign that to me.
Okay, and I'd like us how do we want to talk about this? Do we want to do it via the Google group? Do we want to carve some time out of next week's call or next call?
It depends, John. So I don't know. First of all, yeah, I think we need to start with at least an interpersonal discussion of some kind with the majority of the stakeholders. You know, and effectively, you know, defining what a measurable. At Microsoft, we call it OKRs. You know, we need to define a measurable goal that we all work toward and helps us focus our efforts. So I do think we need to start with a conversation with at least a good portion of the stakeholders. It's going to be some meeting, and I guess I would solicit your guidance on what that meeting is. What is the most appropriate meeting to discuss that?
Well, if it's this, there's two different kind of metrics things we have. One is that one applies to all of MicroProfile, another applies to just marketing. I think whatever we do would apply to both, right? Come up with some consistency about how we want to measure things. So we could carve some time out of the live hangout to discuss this topic.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I'll reserve some time tomorrow. I'm gonna go a little bit over the program plan, GitHub issues and stuff like that, and we'll take some time and cover this one in particular. All right, that's really all I had. Thanks everyone.
Oh, that's amazing. You're like so quick. I saw you create, John, I saw you create many tickets.
No, I really just created, probably 5 for the strategic goals in the program plan. So that's all I've done so far is the strategic goals, but I'll be adding other ones, and I'll describe the philosophy about how I've done it. And I didn't want to do them all quite yet because I wanted just to review. It's the same approach that we had last year. The only difference is in the title I put down 2024, but before all the 2024 goals. And I'll discuss it tomorrow.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Ryan, go up because we went to Tarun, but there is one section here. There is a PR review between the two of you, Ryan and Emily. This is about compatible implementations. Ryan, we discussed 2 weeks ago that you and Emily will work on the PR. I'm removing myself because Emily and I have done a lot of the work for you to review it. Did you get a chance to work with Emily on this?
What did you work with Emily on this about?
There is a PR, and she submitted some compatible implementation Git issues, and she noticed some communication barriers. And I think the PR fixes that by providing.
We met and fixed that, but I don't know should I be doing something with this?
Yes. Emily, do you want to clarify with Ryan on this so that he understands?
Yeah, I think it's Ryan. So this is something for me to do. Ryan said, okay, add the version and et cetera, et cetera. I haven't done the updated template. So once I have addressed Ryan's comment, I will select you, Ryan, and to see whether
Okay.
you have. Yeah, sorry, I haven't done an update.
It's fine. I just thought I missed something.
No,
Okay.
you and Emily are working on this. Hey, Ed.
But,
Hey, Lookman. I see you.
Hi.
It's good to have you.
This is one thing that Emily and I worked on last week, and I would like people to put their feedback in there. We worked on the component specification pages, and we did an updated template with real data in there so everyone can see. If people could please look at this, it's ticket 828, and put their feedback in there. We would like to start implementing this to a lot more pages.
How about Emily? Ryan doesn't join the community call, but how about we put this on their website or on their marketing and we present it tomorrow? Because this is the ticket is finally in the right direction where we're the closest to what we talked last year that the page should look like. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, we can talk about tomorrow. After I think the page itself looks good. My only concern is the maintenance work is quite big. At the moment, it's only Ryan basically have to create all the pages. And then if there's a new release and then new pages need to be created again. So I think that probably that's a big bottle. Basically, it's add a lot of burden for Ryan. For GE, I think because the infrastructure was set up, and it's pretty much people did the PR and automatically the website was updated. So that's kind of something we need to look into.
Yeah, that's
some automation would be really nice, like ASCII docs, but set up in this design or something like this.
Yeah, so the idea is that we find something we like, and then we bring front end to work on implementing it with Ryan, and then we can do some adjustments with the website where a PR will do the updates. Imagine if MicroProfile went 3 times for releases a year, we wouldn't be able to support this initiative. By we mean like it will be too much work for Ryan to do so, right? It will take considerable amount of time, not an hour or 2 a week. But for now, we only have 1 release, sadly, a year, so we can tackle it manually. But this is not the long-term idea, right? So my recommendation is tomorrow we present this so that people that hasn't seen it can see it, provide feedback with the idea that we will automate the future. All right?
Yeah.
And my question to you is, because you're working closer with Ryan and Ryan doesn't attend the community calls, can you add the topic and the ticket to the agenda and present it to the community attending tomorrow?
Fine, tomorrow is a live hangout.
Correct.
So it's Ryan, because
he will not join. No, he cannot join.
Oh, okay. So in that case, I will. I don't want to steal all the thunder from.
No,
Ryan.
You can say Ryan and I did this. This is a presentation.
Feel away. It's okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of hard work. Okay.
Yes.
I will bring them on. Basically the kind of the content itself. Because I work with Ryan, I'm pretty happy with that. And then it's kind of talk about maintenance. Maybe you can look at what Jakarta E has done. So maybe, I don't know, can find some good tips can borrow. But anyway, that's the other problem down the road. So we can look. Yeah, fine.
This sounds amazing. We have 10 minutes to go and I need to drop. Ryan, Emerson, as stewards, can you please take over and cover the few other tickets that are available in these minutes? I updated the minutes through the last 2 weeks, so everything is here and easy to tackle. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, everyone, and see you tomorrow.
See you.
All right. So where do we leave off? These are just tasks for me. We did this. We've covered content. This is more for me. Yearly program, John, you took care of that. Do we need to discuss budget approval, ballot approval?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty much all done.
Okay, perfect. Infra and Emerson. Do you have access to the SurveyMonkey, Emerson?
Got to double check, but I'm not sure. Let me see. I don't think I have access yet. Just I have to review
Yeah.
to understand the workflow.
Okay. Okay. And does anyone want to discuss MicroProfile 7? Not
I
every-
I have a pending follow-up with Emerson, and then I can set the release management process rolling. So I'm not sure if I have something to talk about it, but at least that is in the pipeline for me to do in the coming week.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. Reza, are you still on the call?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, multitasking.
That's okay. I think we forgot to move this to the front from last week. You wanted to discuss this, but you needed more time.
So it sounds like I'll be discussing it tomorrow, but I think let me see what the quorum situation right now is. So I do see that Lukman is on, Emerson is on. I can't tell whether John, yes, John is on. I think we can meaningfully discuss something in the next 10 minutes, unless there's some other priority things to discuss.
Nope, this is it's all yours.
Okay. All right. So, folks, the thing that I want to accomplish here is to have some kind of measurable objective for us as a working group. In primarily focused on marketing. I think whatever we decide for marketing is more or less going to be applicable for the entire working group, actually. So to John's point, I think we can just have one objective. So I do want to share a few insights, so Microsoft does this very heavily, all the way from Satya to, even a person that works on our support tickets. This is what they do. It's called OKRs. So each person has an objective, and really each person group indirectly or directly has an objective. So the optimal best practices for this is that it is in fact just one objective. So in that sense, where we landed on, just in terms of resourcing is actually the right place. So really to start with, we should pick just one objective. Now, there are a few best practices that Microsoft follows that I think is worth at least hearing out and see if it's appropriate here. First and foremost is that this does have to be something numeric, so something not like a binary. I did yes or no, or it's some, subjective statement, that it can be either true or false. It's not those kind of things. It has to be something that's something that you can count, that's something that you can measure tangibly. Usually it's a numeric measure. It's things like, number of downloads, number of subscriptions, number of customers, revenue, etc. Those are the kind of things that, examples of what these objectives really are at Microsoft usually. The other best practice is that it is long-lived. We don't like try to make the objectives as long-lived as possible. So we don't change objectives every semester or every 6 months or every year. Try to keep it, basically pick something that is not so ephemeral. And lastly, or most importantly, it has to be sort of objective driven. In other words, some people write these objectives in terms of I closed X number of tasks, or I did X amount of work. Those type of OKRs are okay in a very limited set of cases. So for example, if you're a support, if you work in tech support, then okay, it's legitimate for you to have an objective that is very directly related to basically the output that you put out, which is like, okay, I close X number of tickets. If you're a consultant, yeah, you can legitimately tie your objective to basically the work that you do, for example, billable hours. In general, though, the advice is to have things that are business outcomes. So really ask yourself, what am I out to accomplish? You know, as an individual or as a group or as a team, what is it our actual objectives? Like what is actually going to be our net impact in the world in the end? So that is generally what these objectives are like. They're not, you know, if you're a coder, I wrote so many X amounts of code is probably not the best thing. Instead, a good objective would be, okay, you know, ultimately I produce software. You know, the software has X amount of downloads, or you know, I have a customer satisfaction score of X, Y, and Z. Those are legitimate objectives for something of that nature. So thinking about all of this, I think I've personally narrowed it down to a few things. And I just want to float it by you and, you know, just so you can think about it. So I think in terms of MicroProfile, it could be something along the lines of, you know, if it's a major survey that measures MicroProfile, well, does it show MicroProfile adoption or not, increasing or decreasing? And so far, the only really the only one that I know of that does that is the Jakarta E-survey, which is not horrible, right? We could accept that as a top level OKR is okay. We want to see some kind of adoption movement, you know, in that Jakarta E-survey. It could also be something like number of job postings. And by the way, I looked at this and it was really dismal. Literally, it was like 3 jobs on Indeed.com, and the same thing with Monster. And some of the others. It's a very, very small number of jobs that are on MicroProfile. So it would have been a good metric, but it's so small that it's not. Another one could potentially be Google Trends, which I also looked at. So the Google Trends also look okay in the sense that in the very beginning, the Google Trends numbers did go up for MicroProfile. But to be honest, the past 5 years or so, it's been stagnant. Right? So it's gone up and down. But if you look at long-term trends, it's basically stagnant. And maybe that is another good one. Right? That is another outcome-driven objective that we could pick. And you know, whatever we ought to be able to do, well, it should have some impact in terms of Google Trends. Or if somebody else can think of some other index where, you know, MicroProfile is measured in some kind of objective way. Other than that, it could be things like website hits and this and that and the other thing, the stuff that's here. You know, so many people are following us. Starter usage, which is effectively number of downloads, or some other proxy of downloads for MicroProfile. Those could potentially be something like that. I hope it's not something like, okay, we close so many tickets on or GitHub, or we have so many contributors. Well, maybe contributors is okay, but honestly, it's a relatively poor measure, right? It's at this point we should be aiming higher in terms of actual industry adoption of MicroProfile. So let me stop there, and I just want to, you know, sort of gather some reactions on what people think of these things. But I think, you know, we can do much better in terms of actually measuring and keeping ourselves honest in terms of a real objective measure of success or not.
What about, so you have social media following, what about mentions?
It could be, John. It's a very indirect proxy, and it's just social media, so it's not. In my mind, yes, we could do that, right? But I think, in my opinion, we should aim higher than that. But I also suspect Ryan can confirm this, but I suspect the number of mentions is probably fairly small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you have here. You know, some more than others. Like, you know, the MicroProfile starter usage. You know, I've never been like a really big fan of the MicroProfile starter because each product has its own starter.
Sure, fair.
And yeah, and it's like, where do you point people, right? You know, for a vendor, they'll probably want to, for the similar reasons, point people to their to their version. But like social media following, our strategy really, in Ryan, feel free to correct me. It's like it really is about well, it's an outbound only channel, which is what it should be. Not necessarily an interactive channel. But we don't really have any strategy for pointing people to the MicroProfile Twitter handle, right?
Yeah, and also
I mean,
it's
we just kind of,
it's a bit of
yeah.
a narrow objective also. You know, like basically that's the other thing too. So, you know, in measuring an objective, it should be something like there is an actual, you really honestly believe that if you increase that, you are actually succeeding at whatever your core mission is. We're popular on social media, yes, it could be, but I think it's relatively weak in terms of an objective, but it could be one. It's measurable, certainly.
Yeah, I have I know we are over time. Quickly,
yeah.
a little bit to add. I think for MicroProfile starter is one data point. I think is the kind of, from what I heard, a lot of people still likes MicroProfile starter. But to John's point, I think this is the one data point we can get a start. And also we should add basically the Open Liberty starter, Quarkus starter, and some other starter. If the vendors can provide data points, that would be great. So this is one thing. The other thing I really like maybe MicroProfile in 2024, we should create a proper survey as well. We got our followers and etc. I think is this year we just make better use of our SurveyMonkey to find out how many customers are really use MicroProfile for production and what version, etc., etc. Yeah, that's all.
That's would be legitimate too. You know, so yes, whether yeah, and it's a legitimate thing. If we have our own survey and our own survey says, hey, you know, our adoption is up or down, I think that's relatively objective and, you know, a higher level measure also. So obviously it's investment. It's something we will have to invest in creating a survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, we're over. And I know it's getting late for Ryan, and Ryan and I have to kind of quickly go over some credentials stuff so he can post to YouTube. So I'd like to do that before it gets too late for Ryan.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. We can
Alright,
stop.
thanks. I'm gonna
I don't have that.
Yeah. What was that?
I'm gonna stop recording.